Hey, Nick Darr here with Business Over a Brew. Pleased to shoot this episode at the Old Bakery Beer Company here in Alton. As a lot of you know, the location where we used to shoot the show, Great Rivers Tap and Grill, decided to close down, as businesses do sometimes, and kind of left us scrambling a little bit, looking for a location to shoot our next episode. And on very short notice, we called Lauren at Old Bakery here, and she was immediately said, "Sure, come down and shoot it." So just very generous of them to let us use the space on such short notice to shoot the show here. It's a really terrific business. They really run a great place here at Old Bakery. And it's a good fit for our show too, because they're a great business, and obviously they serve brew and make it here. So it's a terrific place to have it. If you haven't had lunch here or dinner, I highly recommend you do that. The food is terrific. The beer selection is great bourbon selection as well. So it's just a great place to hang out in a historic building here in Alton. So come check out Old Bakery Beer, and thanks again to Lauren and everybody for letting us have the show here at Old Bakery in Alton. Over Brew, I'm your host, Nick Darr. Pleased to be joining you here at Old Bakery Beer Company in Alton. Great location, great spot for a night for dinner, for entertaining, for events. Check it out. They've got a great beer selection and really a great food menu too. So check it out. Old Bakery Beer Company here in Alton. Thanks to the Riverbend Growth Association for sponsoring Business Over Brew. Really appreciate the partnership with them. And not only do they sponsor it, but they help us book the guests and try to get members of the Growth Association on the show. And pleased to be joined today by Margaret Moorehead from Whispering Woods Bed and Breakfast. Margaret, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, great. Tell us a little bit about your personal background, and then we'll talk a little bit about the business.
Well, my background is mainly in sewing, and that is what led to the B&B. Long story in between. Oh, sorry. I been married for 40 years, hard to believe, and 2 grown kids. And so I'm just enjoying being my own boss and inviting people to Whispering Woods.
So how did the idea, the concept for Whispering Woods come about?
When we built our home about 22 years ago, everybody kept saying, "What are you going to do when the kids move out?" Because it's quite a large home. And I said, "I don't know. That's so far away. It's so far away." Well, then it came. And so I decided to do sewing retreats. And I like doing those. But then I thought, well, if the people like doing sewing retreats here, couples and families would like to come just to stay for the weekend or a week or whatever. So that's how the bed and breakfast came to be.
So that's a unique concept. Did you research that when you started, and were there other ones out there? Or?
Yeah, being in the sewing industry, I'd heard of the retreats and all of that. And so then I have expanded to being kind of an event center, very small event center. And we do cookie classes and chocolate classes and henceforth some of the goodies.
Yeah, right. Probably can't see them on camera, but those look great. Oh, no, I knocked them over. Sorry.
That's all right.
So talk about some of the events that you guys have had and how those have gone.
Well, since I started, I was the best kept secret in Godfrey for quite a long time. And so we were trying to change that.
Well, you are a little off the beaten path.
We are. So I joined the Riverbender Growth Association, which I absolutely love. And then I decided I was going to do some events to just get people to know about us. So we did a Halloween event, and we had about 40 kids come and probably 40 to 50 adults come. And they got to do obstacle courses, and we decorated cookies, and we made painted pumpkins, and we played games, and we just had a really, really good time.
What was the process like? So you lived in the house. What was the process like of getting it ready to be a bed and breakfast?
Yeah, there was a lot of updating that needed to be done. And of course, a large investment because you had to, make sure everything was nice and new and all of that. And then I went to the city of Godfrey, and they were so helpful. I said, okay, this is what I want to do. What do I have to do? And they said, well, you'll have to come to one of those meetings, those town meetings, and make your presentation. So I got my 8.5 by 11 pictures and all my notes and went and did my presentation, and they graciously approved me. And then I was off and running, making sure I could get everything to meet the codes.
What were some of the biggest concerns you had when you were getting ready to open?
Marketing, probably. Once we passed the inspection with no problems, then it was like, okay, really, how am I going to get people to know that I exist and to get them to come? So that was my biggest challenge.
And what was the official open date?
Oh gosh, well, of course we opened right before COVID. So,
I started a music radio station right before COVID, so great time.
Yeah, so I was able to have one event, and then COVID came, and so we basically closed everything down.
Right.
Of course, at that time, people were looking for large houses where they could have a lot of people over and have parties. So I basically just shut down because I didn't want any part of that. And then we reopened in 2021. I don't remember, maybe March or April, once I felt that it was safe to open up the house again.
So you mentioned marketing was one of your biggest concerns. What have you done? How have you attacked that?
Well, it's always a challenge. So I find social media is really the avenue that most people are going to hear from me. But then, of course, the Riverbend Growth Association, and they invited me here to talk to you. So I think this is going to be a good avenue. And that's really all I'm doing right now.
From an audience standpoint, who are you trying to reach? Where do most of the people that come there, that stay there, where do most of them come from? Are they coming from inside the area, a little further out, or
outside of the area?
Sure.
I donate prizes to events sometimes, and I had someone come from not very far away, and they were like, "Oh, we didn't know you existed," and they had a great time. But most people are coming from far away. So if I have a retreat for quilting or sewing or something like that, then I advertise that in specific social media groups. And get a group together for that, and then I advertise on via Airbnb, and I'm switching my website over to a new platform so I can advertise on more sites like that.
That is one of the great things about digital marketing, is the ability to target it to a group as specific as you're trying to target it.
Yes.
Just describe the experience a little bit for people that they come and stay there for a weekend.
Well, it's pretty fun. I have gotten some signature dishes, so to speak, but I love doing something a little bit special. I just do breakfast, but instead of just doing like yogurt, I have homemade yogurt and parfaits and signature dishes that they enjoy. And then they have their chocolates on their bed at night. And they can arrive, like at 3 p.m. And if somebody needs a different arrival time, that's no problem. I can work with that. And they get settled in, and then the next day we meet for breakfast. I find out what the best time for breakfast, depending upon how many people are there. We schedule breakfast that will work for most everybody. And then I try to stay within the house as much as possible. I'm required to spend the nights there with the Godfrey laws. So, but I do stay around. So if they need something, I'm handy, but I'm not in their way. I'm out of sight pretty much.
For somebody, let's say an 8 o'clock breakfast, when does the preparation start for that?
Oh, too early. I do some stuff. I can do stuff like a casserole or something. I can get most everything ready, but I'm usually up about 6 to get everything going so that it's nice and ready. And if they get up at 7, I'm in the kitchen working, and a lot of times they'll come in and join me and have their cup of coffee with me, and it's just very nice.
Right. What's your favorite dish to make?
It is, well, one of two. My homemade yogurt that I make into the parfait, and then I have this chocolate banana delight. It's like eating dessert for breakfast.
Sure, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So, talk about some of the. I know with bed and breakfast, you really often develop some really great relationships with your people that are staying there.
Yeah, I've made a lot of good friends, especially in the sewing industry, because they tend to come back as repeat visitors. So, so they'll come for one class, and then they'll come with another group of friends, and they all just bring their sewing machines and set them up in the workroom and sit and sew. And a lot of times I'm invited to sew with them, and we just continue that relationship.
Cool. What would you say has been maybe the most rewarding aspect of opening a business and operating a business?
I love being able to share things with other people. I always have. So I love being able to open my home to them so they don't have to go to a hotel. I traveled for years and years and spent about 120 nights a year away from home and in hotels. And then I started doing bed and breakfasts, and I just loved it because I got to meet people. I got to talk to them, find out about their neck of the woods and their experiences. And so I love that. I love, like you said, getting to know the other people.
So the travel you were doing, was that for a different job or a different?
That was for sewing.
For sewing, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if had you worked in other industries before, or just sewing? And
Gosh, I think it's just sewing and daycare. My
Okay.
degree is in child
Those
development.
things that take patience, I would say, right?
Yes, that's right. So that's really what I've done all my life, and then raised my kids. And
What have been maybe some of the biggest surprises that you weren't anticipating when you opened a business? Good or bad?
Well, one of the big surprises bad is when social media, if you put something out there, people can be so mean. They would say things to you on social media that they would never say to you face to face. And so that's disappointing because we're all human, we're all doing the best we can. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it doesn't happen that often. But as far as the most rewarding experiences, I love to see people happy. So when they come to my house and they walk in and they think it's beautiful and they tell me the beds are comfortable and they love just relaxing out by the pool, or they go up to Grafton and how cute that town is, I love being able to make somebody's life just a little bit better, even if it's for a short period of time.
I think and I always ask this question because I think having a mentor or people that you can talk to about business is really important. Who have been some of the people that have helped you along in your business journey?
Oh gosh. Well, my husband, of course, is my biggest supporter, and we had an aircraft repair station many years ago down in Florida. So I was very involved in that, and he's very involved in the bed and breakfast. And just, I don't know if there's been one particular person. I've taken a lot of classes on motivation, and I don't know if you know Jack Canfield. He's the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul. So I've been trained by him. So that's what really keeps me motivated, is the training that I took with him.
Okay, great. Talk about some of the benefits that you've received from being a member of the Growth Association.
Oh my
Aside
gosh.
from being on this show, of course.
Yeah.
That's number
well,
one.
This is a big one,
clearly.
yeah. They've come over to my house and had a meeting there so the different members could get to see the bed and breakfast. And they've introduced me to other people. When I go to a member mingle, I don't feel alone. They're always there saying, hey, have you met this person? Or this person might be good for you to interact with. And I just love it. I feel like my small team has grown exponentially because I have the whole team of the Riverbender Growth Association.
Sure. What do you see? What's the vision for the future, the next year or 2 years out?
I hope to increase the number of people that know about me, henceforth getting more visitors. We've just added a fire pit area to the B&B, so we're expanding the opportunities that people can have. I want to do some more events. I have someone who is scheduled for the day before their wedding, the night before their wedding, the day of their wedding, to have all the bridesmaids come and get ready and do their pictures and everything there. So I'm just looking forward to whatever comes my way.
It really looks like a great place to stay, winter or summer, too.
It is. It's really nice. I love Christmas, so all the Christmas decorations are down now, but they're still.
That had to take you a while to put them up and take them down, I would imagine.
I did.
Right?
We put up 27 trees.
Oh my goodness!
So it's a big a big investment of time, but we love it. And then in the summer we've got the pool, and like I said, the fall we're going to have the fire pit. Now you can use it any season, I guess. So we're just always looking for unique little things to add to make the stay more enjoyable for everybody.
Well, it's a great looking place. Any areas that we didn't touch on that we need to mention?
I don't think so. I'd just like to invite everybody to come and stay with us. I think you'd really enjoy the experience.
And if people want to find out more information, where's the best place to go to do that?
WhisperingWoodsGodfrey.com.
It's a great website and a great looking place. So congratulations on your success, and thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Margaret.